Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the September 11, 2018 school committee meeting here at the high school. These meetings are audio and video recorded for your viewing pleasure. At this time, we'll start with introductions.
Robert Mullen.
Julie Guastucci.
Good evening, Mike Moran.
Good evening, Mark Branco, Assistant Superintendent.
Hi, Mike Flanagan, Superintendent.
Anthony Tenerell.
Ryan McMahon.
Paul Mitchell.
Amy Pazurski.
Joe Messina, Business Administrator.
Sophia Campbell, Student Representative.
All right, thank you. At this time, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. At this time, I will seek a motion to approve the August 21st 2018 school committee and executive session minutes. Executive session minutes not to be released at this time.
Make that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? That carries 7-0-0. Correspondence.
None at this time, Mr. Chair.
Visitors' comments and questions. Seeing none. Share the success. Sophie.
Before school started, THS Senior Sidekicks hosted a Newcomers Welcome Day to show freshmen and new students around the school and what to expect. Last week, TS hosted a back-to-school ice cream social and open house. Fall sports is back, and every sport has had their season opener, game or meet. Girls soccer had an impressive win in their game against Clinton last Tuesday with a score of 7-0. THS Theater held their auditions for their next show, The Drowsy Chaperone, last week, and the freshman class of 2022 elected their first class officers. So good luck to them.
Very good, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion to take items 9A and 9B out of order.
May I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? That carries 7-0-0. At this time, I'll turn it over to Dr. Flanagan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. 9B, we're going to go with 9B first, and we're going to introduce one of the things that this committee made a commitment to probably in April was the fact that given the climate of our society, we absolutely need a full-time school resource officer in our public school system. Sergeant Manning has done yeoman's work, but was doing the work of 3 people, and it was impossible for him to cover Greater Lowell, Tyngsborough Public Schools, Innovation, Notre Dame. So one of the best things about Tyngsborough is the fact that we are a small community. We can work together collaboratively. I was able to work with Chief Howe and Town Administrator Hanson to make this happen and realize this in our budget. So I want to thank the committee for their support. And tonight we have Chief Howe, Sergeant Manning, Officer Bonsar here to talk a little bit about the SRO program and what we envision it for the Tyngsborough Public Schools. So welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. It's kind of nice being in front of a board that I'm not in front of it asking for, money or new officers or appointments.
We don't have any money.
I really appreciate you having us here tonight, and I am very excited, and I do want to start out by thanking Superintendent and obviously the entire committee for his commitment to the safety of the schools. We started this conversation probably a year ago, and the need is there, and it's always about, the money at the end of the day, and can we afford this? And Mike, the superintendent, he made the statement to me, we can't afford not to do it, and I agree. We really can't afford not to do it. And so the commitment was there. We worked collaboratively. Obviously, the school committee supported their superintendent, and the town supported it. Everybody kind of came together with this, and we made it happen, and I'm really proud of it. And we put together a process to hire for this position specifically, and we made it clear during the process, each candidate that we brought in, we tested roughly 70 people. Roughly 10 of those were full-time certified police officers from other communities who wanted to come to Tyngsborough. So we're pretty fortunate to have that. That is not the norm. And Bethany was the clear choice to come here. We made it clear that for at least the very first year, her commitment to Tyngsborough, she would be in the school system and as a school resource officer, and she was very excited about the opportunity. We actually felt that she would be a phenomenal fit here. And from my conversations with the superintendent, she has been so far. You know, Sergeant Manning's difficult to replace, but, you know, I think she's doing a really good job doing that. Sergeant Manning obviously will continue to oversee the program. As I'm sure you know, we've also added a school resource officer full-time to the Lowell Voc as well, vocational school. So it's a significant enhancement for the community itself. And Sergeant Manning is going to be leading the way in growing the program, making sure that we're meeting all the standards that we need to, and that we're making any improvements we can as we move forward. Sergeant Manning?
Thanks, Chief. So, what I envision for the program, like Dr. Flanagan had said, for the last, let's say, 7 or 8 years, even longer since Sergeant Pivarato retired, it's been difficult giving the schools the services that, you know, that you deserve. We have like 5,000 students in town between the 5 different school districts. And what I've been doing lately is just running around putting out fires. You know, there's a lot going on in the schools, especially, you know, at Greater Lowell Tech, you know, 2,300 students there. But even the other schools, they have their issues, bullying, that sort of thing. So what I got away from was getting into the classroom and teaching. I used to do programs when Sergeant Pivarato and myself were both assigned to the schools. I did the DARE program. I did some of those safety programs at the elementary school, Halloween safety, internet safety, bus safety, those sorts of programs. We've gotten away from that. Now with the addition of 2 new SROs, we're going back to that format. So Bethany will have this school and the middle school. Obviously, the Officer Cozio will take care of Greater Lowell. I will be going into the elementary school and bringing back the DARE program and some safety classes. So in the last few days, we met with the administration of this school and at the middle school, asked the guidance counselors, principals, what are your needs? What do you see trends? Like, we don't want to just go in there and throw programs at you. What do you see the need of your school is? And we identified, I mean, vaping is a big issue that's, you know, adolescents are getting into now. Marijuana. There's still a lot of criminal harassment, bullying types of behaviors in the schools. So we'll address those. We'll go into the classrooms. It will be difficult because time and learning and that sort of thing, but we'll make it work. We've identified, you know, key areas that the administration at both schools want to address, and we're going to work with the wellness programs of both schools, get into the classrooms and do some of that programming. So it's going to be, I'm really excited about it. Bethany's, you know, she's fitting right in. I think it's going to be a positive for the district. So any questions, I mean, anything that, you know, feel free to ask.
I'll open it up. Thank you all for being here this evening. We appreciate you taking time out of your evenings. But I'll open it up to the board.
I'll just say that on Teacher Day, when I was able to introduce both Officer Bonson and Sergeant Manning, I announced to the elementary staff that one of the things that we're trying to bring back is the DARE program at the elementary school, and that received probably the biggest round of applause all morning. I think the teachers see an incredible need for it, and they're excited for a presence down there. And as Sergeant Manning had addressed earlier, you know, we don't want this to be a reactive position, and Officer Bonzo, you've done an incredible job of seamlessly integrating yourself into the school and meeting kids and meeting staff, and that's what we want. We want a friendly face. We want somebody who's going to know where the parties are on the weekend, who's dating who. We want that proactive approach that we had years ago, because when kids feel comfortable and confident going to someone, they're going to go to them, and they're going to go to them when they have an issue. So we're really excited about the potential of this program. We think it's going to do wonders for both the high school, middle school, and the elementary school.
And that I think that's the key to the program. It's the integration into the system, the school system. This is not a security position. This is somebody who's going to be part of every facet facet of the community, the school, and those make the most successful school resource officers. They know the kids know them, so inherently they know the issues, they know the teachers, they know the staff, so it makes it more successful. And I think, obviously, by being here tonight, we already are on the same page. We're going to continue to work together. We're going to find ways to improve. I know me and Sergeant Manning had talked probably 2 years ago about bringing back the DARE program, and now what a great opportunity that we can expand on those things. And obviously, we all know what's going on in the world and the issues that are facing us, but there's a lot of other things that get kind of lost because our focus is so much on that, just the safety aspect. There's so many other things day to day that may not seem as scary as a school shooting or things like that, but harassment in the schools or bullying, as Sergeant Manning says, those things are frightening. And to have a familiar face, as Superintendent said, that they can go to might avert a situation where we have a student, take an action to do something they otherwise would not do. So, again, I'm really excited. And Bethany, did you want to say a few words?
Well, thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be here. I think, to speak to what the Chief and Sergeant Manning have kind of touched on, I'm really looking to get in there and develop relationships with these kids. I think it's really important to, it starts at the family level. How does crime affect a family or an incident affect a family? And to try to, because it affects them when they go to school. So that's really my perspective, just getting that relationship where they feel comfortable, and, just making sure that the school is safe. So, again, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here. So.
Thank you all for coming again, and welcome to Tyngsborough. We're excited to have you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Great, appreciate it, thank you.
All good.
Short and sweet. I told you I'd keep silent.
Exactly.
Thank you.
We will move on. Do we have to? We'll move on to 9A.
So, Mr. Chair, historically, at the beginning of the school year, we like to bring in the administrative teams to talk about what's new in the school. This year, the high school is going to go first. So, Mr. Ogden, Mrs. Trainer, and Ms. Palumbo are here to kind of update you on the opening of the school. I know that Ms. Trainer can talk about some standardized test scores that we have, and Ms. Palumbo will give us an update on our athletic program to date. So, I turn it over to you, Mr. Ogden.
Thank you for having us tonight. The year's been off to a tremendous start. Despite the heat, the students and staff, I give them all the credit in the world for dealing with it, pushing through it, and still diving right into the year. We all could have complained, but they didn't, so it's a testament to who the staff and kids are here. And I should have remembered this from last year. Sophie stole like half my thunder, and Corey did the same thing last year. When I try to highlight the big things, because it's our kids getting involved, so I'll touch a little bit on it. For a lot of our students, school actually started, or back to school started mid-August, between athletics and then also with freshman orientation. 20 senior sidekicks this year, hosted 78 out of 124 freshmen showed up for orientation, so that was a great number. It included the meet and greet, a presentation. From a student's perspective, I think that's one of the important things. It's not just us telling them, but our senior sidekicks actually tell them how it is from their eyes. I think we try to have a student's perspective, but often we're not. As much as we want to stay young, we get older and forget how things are for them. So that was a great event there. Sports also kicked off, which Ms. Palumbo will give you an update after. With the year starting, class meetings, as we always do to welcome back students, was a great time to acknowledge that, as particularly for the class of 2019, that they are seniors, that this is their year. One of the biggest things, we obviously lay out expectations as we do every year. But then we stress to every grade the importance of getting involved to make the most of their opportunity during their high school time. Whether it's from their freshman year, and then we stress to the sophomores, you guys know what you're doing now. Get involved. Take that chance. And as we moved to that with the freshmen, they took that to heart. We had 11 students this year run for freshman class officer. Usually it's 3 out of 4 positions are uncontested. So for 11 kids to get out there, get on stage, give a speech, because that's the requirement to do it. You can't just get on the ballot. They get up there, they gave some tremendous speeches, and the voting was very close, so we're excited for those four to be joining us. Some of the other activities, as Sophie mentioned, dinner theater this year is the Drowsy Chaperone, and a number of our clubs are already off and running with Student Council, Bio Builder, a group of freshmen, 15 students want to start a volleyball club, so that's going to get going. One of the biggest things this year, the biggest change for us, is the BYOD initiative. It has been a tremendous start with it. The transition has been extremely smooth. As we've done that, teachers are utilizing it as an additional tool, which is great to see. It's giving students choice. Dr. Flanagan and I were walking around today, and from classroom to classroom, there could be a whole class using them. Then 2 doors down, there's some kids taking notes the old way, just pen and paper, as others are typing their notes away. The teachers are incorporating, they're taking risks when you do it. They're trying new websites, new apps to try to give students an even greater experience and as an instructional tool. We also conducted a survey the first few days to try to figure out what's going on. So approximately 12% of students don't have devices, so we do have it set up so that we can meet their need when a device is needed. We do have those extra available devices, but overall, that was it was great to see so many parents buy into this and see that it's going to be a positive program for our kids. So, Mrs. Trainer now is going to give us an update on AP.
Sure. AP results were released this summer. We had a total of 88 students take 106 AP exams. We shared the data with you. I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at it yet, but as you can see from the data that the mean scores from each subject area that had tested showed growth compared to the previous year. So that was an improvement on our end. The only subject area that didn't show growth was our AP Calculus course. However, that was our highest scored subject area, and the percentage was very small in that, so we're still excited for that score. We've been looking at our AP program over the past couple of years, and we've made some adjustments through it throughout the years. We've looked at our AP philosophy, made some changes in that, looked at our summer work and what that expectations are, and what our kids are required to do for the summer before being able to go into the course, as well as looking at our overall testing requirements. So we're hopeful that seeing this growth is something that as we continue to look at that program, we're going to continue to see growth each year. Any questions about AP?
I just want to speak to the AP briefly. I think that was one of kind of a focal point for this administrative team. We have had conversations about AP kind of getting stagnant over the past couple of years, and a conversation with Jeff over a year ago was what can we do to reinvigorate it, and what can we do to really talk about what our philosophy is, what our expectations are, and what the plan for the program is going to be. So I know that you've begun preliminary work in terms of, last year you began preliminary work with improving our AP program. Certainly these scores reflected. Jeff and I met again actually this morning to talk about what does a more comprehensive plan look like by the end of the year. How do we really shift our mindset around AP, and how do we get more buy-in from our staff in terms of what that definition of rigor will be and expectations of our students over the summer. So this is a great first step. These scores reflect a tremendous first step, but the work's not done, and I know that Jeff is going to work on that this year, the whole team's going to work on it this year, and we're going to really continue to mold what that program looks like moving forward. So great job, and I encourage you to keep it up.
What's the score range?
It's on the spreadsheet in the Dropbox. I was just looking.
So it depends on the subject area. So in your, I think your shared Google folder, it will show each AP subject area that was tested compared with the mean score and the global mean score. So it depends per subject area.
So it's a different max score for each one?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's from 1 to 5.
1 to 5.
5 being the highest.
All right. Thank you.
I just have a question real quick. I'm looking through the offerings. This is going to be a fun question to ask, so just bear with me here. The AP government one.
Yes.
I noticed in 2015, 16, 17, 18, no one's really taking the test.
Yeah.
Is
No,
that it?
the course hasn't run.
Course hasn't run.
So we haven't had enough students in those years. That class runs every other year. So it's every other year with U.S. history. So on that every other year, we hadn't had enough students sign up. We have had a couple students take it through virtual high school. If we had a 1 or 2 students choose to enroll in the class rather than have a teacher assigned, we've offered that online.
Okay, I'm curious, because then I just want to ask a curriculum question about, what are we teaching on just U.S. government or civics and such, because you see what's going on in the world and how people aren't really knowledgeable about that stuff. I just want to make sure we're doing a good job.
So interestingly enough, the state just came out with updated frameworks in
Saw
June,
that
right?
in the paper.
And so they're live, and we have a curriculum team that is actually joining a regional curriculum team of between 8 and 10 other school districts. I mean, we have teacher and curriculum leader representation from all 3 schools in our district. And the kickoff meeting's actually next week, I believe, right? So they're going out to the kickoff meeting, and we're part of this pilot program regionally that's going to get together, tear apart the frameworks, take a look at everything K to 12, but the major changes have been a civics course at the 8th grade, a realignment of our U.S. History 1 and 2 programming and World History programming at the high school. So with a major focus on 8 through 12, and then a full focus on K to 12. After 1 year of being part of this cohort, we will have pilot curriculum documents and pilot materials, and then in year 2, all of the school districts that are part of this program will be able to have a viable change in their programming and their scope and sequence, which is a way better way to do it. You know, to me, we looked hard at doing it in-house by ourselves. We're a very small district with small departments, so to maximize the knowledge base, to put a bunch of like-minded people together regionally who are really passionate about U.S. history, civics, social studies in general, is going to be a good way to do it. So there's going to be a nice focus on that this year, and what you'll see, and you'll get presentations from us along the way.
Yeah, I'm interested in
You'll get
that.
a big update along the way from us at the start, the middle, the end.
What the content
Yes,
just is.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll break all that down for you guys.
Thank you very much. It's fantastic stuff going on.
So VHS is virtual high school?
Yes.
All right, I thought you put a tape in the VCR.
Oh, he's dating himself.
Seriously. So what is that?
So it's an online learning opportunity that we use to help supplement our program of study. So if we have a course that, for example, we use it a lot with AP course. If we have an AP course that doesn't have enough students that have signed up, if virtual high school has openings, we're able to enroll the student in the virtual high school class, and they take that online with a certified teacher. It could be, a teacher currently at Tyngsborough. We don't have teachers teaching it, but we have in the past. But it could be a Tyngsborough teacher, a Westford teacher, or a teacher in California. And they're taking that course, and it's an independent opportunity where students need to be able to be self-paced and motivated to be able to get that work done, so they're able to do it within the school day here. So it's a period of the day where they might work in the library, or if they're an upperclassman and they drive, they could leave, at the end, after 4th period to go home and work on it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's a good program.
Mrs. Palumbo is now going to provide an athletics update.
Thank you. So before we get into this year, I'm going to give a little recap of last year, 2017-18 athletic recap. We had a total, out of the 3 seasons, we had a total of 686 students from middle school to high school throughout the seasons participated in athletics. Our user fee collection from last year was 98% of all of our user fees. So which was good. We had a lot of successful teams this past season. We had Central Mass finalists. We had a lot of teams that went far in the tournament. This fall, we're off to a great start. Our participation numbers are up. Last year, we had 276 athletes in the fall. This year, up to 299 student fall athletes. So our numbers are going up. I'm not sure if that was the fact that we have 3 new varsity coaches, and energy towards athletics in the high school is amped up this year. So we're excited about that. So far this season, our user fee collection is at 75%, which is typical for being three weeks into the fall sports season. And I'm usually in the fall, that should be by the end of the season, they're usually pretty much all collected. The athletic department is looking forward to using the multifunctional school activity van this year. That's on its way, from what I hear. Looking forward to using it for our student ambassador trips. Student ambassadors are students, athletes that are picked for the school. They represent the school at different functions, at the MIA, within the Midwatch, to do fundraisers, things of that nature. Our student leadership workshops that the MIA offers, I'll be able to bring more students down. I only can fit 6 kids in my little Highlander and drive them down there, so I'll be excited to bring some more kids down, give more kids an opportunity to see what the MIA has to offer for leadership. And of course, our smaller teams are going to be able to use it, our golf, swim, cross country, wrestling, things of that, girls tennis, boys tennis in the spring. So it's going to be utilized throughout the whole season, throughout the whole year. So we're excited about that. Any questions about athletics for this fall?
Why don't you introduce the new coaches to the district?
Oh, yeah, so for our varsity football coach, Rob Brodette, is his first year. He was assistant last year with Mr. Coach Jim Tansey. When Ms. Tansey retired, you hired Rob Brodette. Boys soccer coach is new, Adam Bovair. He was the JV coach last year. The varsity coach moved on, and he stepped up. And then this year, we hired Gianna Bensaya for our Feel Lucky coach. She's also the new wellness teacher at the high school. And she's come in with another, our JV coach is new as well, Kaylee Hoffman. So we have a new young staff for a lot of our sports, and from what I'm seeing from the girls and the boys that are participating there, they're excited, and there's a lot. If you walk through the halls, all sports are up, their energy, they're excited, they're talking about it, everyone's talking to each other about, communicating about their games and are excited. So there's a lot of good energy throughout the halls of THS right now.
Your participation numbers, are those unique students, or if somebody plays multiple sports, are they counted twice?
So they counted twice, so throughout the whole, so user fee, they're getting so there's 3 user fees collected, so I counted them each twice, or 3 times if they're a 3-sport athlete.
Do you track how many students play multiple sports?
I do, yes. I don't have those numbers for me right now, but they're usually, it's a good number of kids play at least 2 sports in our seasons.
There are 500 kids in high school right now, and there are
Yeah.
299 playing a fall sport. So it's
Over half.
60%.
Yeah, over half,
right?
yeah.
And there's been no cuts in any of the JV teams or any of that?
Nope, numbers are good.
Everybody comes out, gets to play.
Everyone got to play. We had no cuts whatsoever this year.
Great.
I had a parent approach me this weekend, actually, and she was extremely complimentary to the high school kids with the 8th graders in the football program. She said they treat these kids amazing. They coach them, they talk to them, they don't treat them like an underclassman. And she was very, very impressed with the high school students and the coaching staff of the football program. So that's great.
Really good.
So I know in softball, basketball, we're looking for baseball. We like to bring the high school students in to work with our younger kids in the rec program.
Yep.
And they're great role models for the kids, and it's really good. It gets the kids involved. They love it.
Yep.
So we're really happy when they can do that.
Yep.
So this is the opportunity with the high school.
Yeah,
they're here.
happy to answer any questions that you have.
I know in the spring we talked about exchange students.
Yes.
Have we done anything with that, or any update?
We've been trying to do.
Okay.
We've been trying to do a lot with that. So I've reached out to multiple consulting companies to be able to work with them that will help us bring students here. Unfortunately, the population of the students that are interested in this area has declined over the years, which was unknown to us when we were going into this program. And they're not looking, a lot of the companies aren't looking to add new schools to their program. However, just this morning, we got our name on one company's list for the 2019-20 school year, so for next school year. So we were able to give them all of our information in regards to that. And what's unique about this program is they also do not just a full year program, which is expensive for families, the process, they have to pay the tuition to come to Tyngsborough High School, as well as the fee for the consulting company, as well as the host family. So it is a pricey thing for the families to do. But this company has a trimester program where it can be, that tuition can be prorated to a third of the tuition price, where the students would come here for a trimester, which they were excited because we were on a trimester, so it works perfectly for them. And the students are just coming here for the experience, so they would just audit the class and come here. So we had signed off on that we'd definitely be willing to do that. So they have just put us into their program, and they have some students. They're hopeful that we'll be able to get some students for next school year. But we've been trying and reaching out to companies. It's just the availability of the exchange students. So.
Right.
On the AP programs, are we offering, how many AP courses are we offering this year?
This year,
Courses.
can I just list them? Is that okay, rather than counting them? We have AP language, calculus, micro, U.S. history, and chemistry. So we have 5. sex and biology. And we have quite a number of students taking virtual high school. So we have some students taking computer science A through virtual high school, along with a student taking the government class, and I believe one student taking the psychology class.
No AP Physics this year?
The AP Physics didn't run this year. In regards to, it was offered to students through virtual high school, but a lot of those students, their interest lied in the computer science, so the kids that signed up for the physics that weren't interested in doing it through virtual high school had taken the computer science course.
How was the installation of the solar panels? Was there any disruptions? Did it affect you guys at all?
Minor at best, if anything. I think since we've been back, one teacher called and said it was a little loud. It just sounded like I know what the process is. It was when they were putting the cinder block on the stand, so you'd hear and that was it.
And she said she didn't even want to call down, but she said, you guys want
We asked them to call us down to let us know.
But I heard a cinder block.
Yeah, that's what it was. So, yeah, haven't heard a thing, so it's been great.
Good.
No busting issues or anything with all the construction between Flint's Corner and Norris Road here?
Not that we heard of. Mr. Messina?
Beautiful.
To date, no.
Yeah. Let's keep it that way. All right. Any other questions?
We're excited for a good year.
Yes. Excellent. Thank you all for
Thank you
coming
for
out
having
this
us.
evening. Yeah.
Have a good night, drive carefully.
We have no subcommittee updates this evening, so personnel notifications.
2 requests maternity leave, Mr. Chair. Ms. Adams, Ms. Triakis, elementary school, middle school.
Congratulations
Both approved.
to
Congratulations to them.
Yeah, exactly. Unfinished business?
Just 2 updates. I want to talk about Pierce Field and the Select Solar Energy Project. Pierce Field, right now, you'll see that, I would say, a third of the field has the pad installed. I think we have a picture from today. Oh, that's not from today,
No,
but...
this is when they were tearing up.
Okay. We have a third of the field covered in the pad that needs to go down below the turf level. Long and short of it is, by Friday of this week, we anticipate seeing green out there, and then it'll be another week or so to get the infill in and to do the final stitching. So I'm going to be the eternal optimist and say by Saturday the 22nd it'll be completed. But I'm also going to be a realist and say maybe not till the 25th or 6th, but certainly before the end of the month, provided the weather holds up. We have a crew here from New Jersey that's a Shaw Turf certified group, and they're flying. They're really working, this group. So Heimlich Construction has done a great job overseeing the project, and then Ryan Guffey's been in constant contact with them, and we're excited about it. So right now the field is covered in white rolls of turf. As they put the padding down, we go from there. So we're in good shape. I would say another week and a half to 2 weeks and we're done.
Are we going to miss any of our varsity sports opening games or anything?
So we're going to miss 2 varsity football games. One is scheduled for Saturday night at Chelmsford, and we're looking to move the second one. The second one was originally scheduled to be also in Chelmsford at the McCarthy Middle School. The first one's going to be at the Simonian Alumni Stadium, right next to the highway. The second one is going to be at McCarthy Middle School. We're actually looking to move that, to bring it and go old school and have a game at our elementary school football field. We think that would be great to bring in a portable scoreboard and maybe do it on a Friday afternoon and let all the elementary kids go right out after school, the youth football, youth cheer, and kind of have everyone just do like a community event. So that's not finalized yet. We're working to see if we can work that out logistically, but I would rather have the kids have a Friday afternoon or a Saturday morning old school, high school football game. I think that would be great for our kids to do it in town. And they'd be the bragging rights. They'd be the only team that ever played a high school varsity game on that field. So that's what we're looking to do for that. We have a home field hockey game on the 28th of September, which is a Friday, which we anticipate playing on Pierce Field. In terms of solar project, we have some pictures up there as well. Panels are there. Panels are in. Panels are installed. It's a matter of wiring now, so we're a week and a half away from having all the wiring officially done and the connections tied in, and then it's a matter of having National Grid come back, have the building inspector check everything. So Ryan's best estimate is we're probably 3 weeks away from being 100% completed with this project, but the panels are in, it's a matter of wiring, connecting them, and then getting National Grid on board. So it looks great. Mr. Messina is excited about the savings that we can potentially see down the road. So we're excited about that. It's been a great project, and they really have done a very good job. I think to Jeff's point, where the teachers are just notifying them because they notify them, there really hasn't been a whole lot of disruption to the high school at all. They've done a nice job of lowering material up where there are no classroom windows, so the kids aren't distracted. So they've done a good job. So we're happy with that project as well.
That's great. I asked my daughter, I said, so, did you see the solar panels? She goes, what solar panels?
No, they noticed the yellow fencing, that's it.
Yeah.
Why do they have the yellow fencing up there? So that's
Oh,
good.
so you don't know that they're on the roof? No, I don't know anything about it.
Yep.
So do they have a monitoring station or something that's going to be installed down here to see the output?
So, Mr. Messina.
So it's my understanding that we'll have it internet-based information that the school can access, sign in, see how they're transmitting and everything. Ryan will have some operational access as well. So there are a number of web-based components to this.
Is there
There's no kiosk, physical kiosk is what he's asking about.
Is there a panel somewhere that they must have a meter somewhere?
I'll check in with Ryan and let the committee know in terms of what he might have in terms of operationally.
Can I expand on his question? The piece I want to know more about is the bandwidth. How are they transmitting that data? Are they using the school's network and our bandwidth going out, or they have like a little satellite up there that uploads or something? Or how are they tied in so you can get the internet access?
I will reach out to Alex Keeley at Select, and I'll let the committee know, because it's my assumption that they're not integrating with our server at all, but I want to confirm that with them.
Okay, just curious how that was done.
I also believe there's going to be curricular connections down the road, too, which would be really great for our science
We
program.
did mention that.
Yeah, we talked about that, yeah.
Well, this is for the students to be able to learn off, piggyback off the whole thing.
Right.
Maybe once this is completed, we could have them come in and just do a quick recap of how the project went and answer any questions you guys may
There
have.
should be a meter. There's got to be a meter somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No, but I know what you're talking about. Like some schools have it right in the main lobby, so the kids can actually see the amount of energy that's being produced and everything like that. So
That's something we could set up.
we could talk to Select about that.
We'd want the burden on them to set it up.
Right.
I think having them come in once the
I don't want to pay
project
money for it.
is done.
$25 project.
But it'd be a fun project for the kids to learn how to handle the data and set it up there.
Projects in engineering, I could,
Yes.
that's something that
Absolutely.
the kids can do.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult if I know what they're doing, we can just piggyback off.
Right, no, I think that would be great. I think that'd be awesome for our kids to see it too.
Yeah, we can have Select come in.
Awesome.
Just to do a recap and talk about what we can do in terms of real-time data, information like that, because I'm sure Select may be saying, hey, you got 3 other buildings in the district. If you like this one, we got 3 more roofs we
Right,
can look
right.
at.
So Mr. Messina will reach out to Select.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you very much for those updates. We go down to 9C, which is the ratification of the Unit A collective bargaining agreement. The union did vote, and we agreed to a contract. So just to touch on a few pieces of it, it's a 3-year deal, beginning July 1st, 2018, and ending June 30th, 2021, which was a nice deal, actually. A few of the things that we discussed on the notification of deadline changes was changing their report times for their salary changes and their different things to December 31st. That way we can better budget, because before it was
January 31st.
January 31st. So our budget was well into being completed by the time they reported their changes. So that's going to help Mr. Messina and all of us with the budget stuff, as well as some sick time changes. I believe you guys have all of these in your drive, so I don't know if you have any questions in regards to that. this time.
Just one point, if I could just make one point
Yes.
of clarification on, you can see proposal 2, we did have the union sign off on that we amended those dates. The original dates were a little too ambitious, so now it'll be September to December that we'll look to do that work.
So if I could get, with that.
I'd just like to say that it was, as part of the negotiation committee, it was, you know, each side had their positions, but I think everybody worked well together. And there was no need for outside interests, lawyers on either side to be able to come in and get this negotiated. So I was pleased that we were able to do that, and we're working well with the union. They're looking to have good jobs and good pay, as anybody would, but they're also interested in making sure that Tyngsborough is a good school system and trying to do what's required to make it better. I appreciate the way the negotiations went.
Yes. And it's a huge cost savings to us not having to involve the lawyers. So I echo Paul's comments. So if I could get a motion to ratify the Union A collective bargaining agreement with the Tyngsborough Teachers Association for the period of July 1st, 2018 to June 30th, 2021, and to authorize the chair to sign the final agreement on behalf of the committee. Make that motion. Second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries 7-2. So thank you all for that, and thank you to my fellow committee members and Dr. Flanagan for Dr. Franco and Mr. Messina for all the hard work you guys put into that. I appreciate it. 2018 release of executive session minutes.
Mr. Chair, you will see this item on next week's agenda. The attorney did not get back to me in time.
Okay.
So we're going to have to skip this.
Very good. Finance. Messina.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Tonight, there are 13 bill warrants going around the table. In your drive is the list of warrant numbers, accounts, and amounts. For signing of payroll, we'll do catch up on that at your meeting next week. That's it.
School committee discussion. We will start. Mr. Fairbanks.
I'd like to thank the administration at the elementary school for putting on a fantastic open house this past week. It was extremely successful. The parents, the kids seemed to have a wonderful time. The teachers that I met with, and there were many of them that night, we're just very excited to have the parents coming in and getting to talk to them, getting to let them know what their plans were for the year. It was extremely well done. I see that getting better and better each year. Just congratulate the administration and staff there.
Perfect. Thank you.
I'm all set.
I'd like to congratulate Officer Bonzar, Bethany. What a great opportunity it is for Tyngsborough school systems to have her in the middle school and high school program here. So I'm very excited. My daughter has already said, she's a great person, so she's already interacting with the, I know it's the 10th graders. So fantastic, and good luck to the students starting out.
I just want to say welcome back to everybody. It depends if you're a child or a parent. Some kids ran back to school, some kids were dragged back to school. Many of us parents were happy to send them back to school, at least in my household. But we've hit the ground running. There's a lot of great stuff planned for this year. It's going to be a very exciting school year, and I just look forward to watching all the students and staff do all of the work they're going to do. So welcome back, and very excited just to get started.
Excellent. Thank you.
I'm really excited, and I know that a ton of students are excited for the new field to be put in, so thanks for doing that and figuring all that stuff out. And for the solar panels, I actually think that might have been one of my teachers that called Mr. Ogden. And because I was in that class, and it was maybe a couple noises, but it really wasn't disruptive at all, so they did a good job with that.
Good intel, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm all set tonight, thank you.
I'm all set.
I'd just like to welcome everybody back. Glad that things are starting off okay, and wish the fields and some of the projects were done, but we're still pushing on, and we'll get those accomplished, and I think things will be going great for Tyngsborough Public Schools. Thank you.
I just wanted to jump in with what Rob said. The open house was a great event. The school invites the community organizations to come in and set up tables for information, which was really good. And we actually had bad weather that day. Last minute, they moved everything inside. It went flawless, so it was a great night.
I would just like to publicly thank and recognize the negotiating team of the Tyngsborough Teachers Association for the collaboration. I know that it was a goal and a priority of the teachers to have this contract done before the school year, and to Paul's point, you're right. They want a fair wage, and they like working here. It's not one or the other, and we're very proud of the district and the work of the teachers on their end. So thank you to the Tyngsborough Teachers Association, because they're the most important employees in this district, and we thank them for everything they do every day. So that's it.
I would like to, again, thank Chief Howe, Sergeant Manning, and Bethany for coming in this evening. I'm glad that we're bringing the DARE program back. We have some things going on in town and in our state, and I'm hoping that that will be helpful to our children. So I'm very pleased with that. Other than that, I think we're good. We have no need for an executive session this evening. So I will...
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to adjourn.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carry 7-0-0. Have a good night, everybody.
Night.